All right, good evening, everybody. David Paul with you in the KHU 11 Weather Center. I am here. I'm currently updating the long-range forecast, which now is looking like we're going to get some relief from this heat and humidity as we head into the middle of next week. So hang in there. We've got 5 more days of the heat and humidity to go, and it's going to be mid-90s. We're flirting with record highs each day. We set a new record high today. Thursday, high went to 95 at Bush Intercontinental Airport, breaking the old record of 94, which was set on this day back in 2018. And again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all mid-90s, all days where you really need to use all your hot weather precautions, drinking water, taking breaks, pre-hydrate with 2 big glasses of water first thing when you get up, and then just keep drinking all day long. It really makes a difference in how you'll feel and how your body handles the heat. Not only the heat, but the hazy, smoky skies continue. So the haze you've been seeing, that is smoke. It's coming from 1,000 miles away in central and southern Mexico from agricultural fires that burn in Mexico every year at this time. We'll talk about that in detail. And then this pattern change next week. Again, that's what I was updating here when you caught me here at the computer, just updating that. It does look like we're going to get a break in this heat wave as we head into the middle part of next week. I'll show you all the deets on that as we move forward. Records today. So College Station hit 95, ties the record set back in 1925. Bush Intercontinental Airport. So the record shows that we hit 94 today, which would tie the record of 94 set in 2018. But I did go back and dig through the hourly, the minute by minute temperatures at Bush Intercontinental Airport, and we hit 95 several times at Bush. So that is going to be updated to 95 once they dig through the minute by minute temperatures. So new record at high at Bush is 95 for the day. Hobby Airport hit 93. That's one below the record of 94 set in 1978. And then Galveston 86 below the record of 89. Set back in 1875. Hello, Galveston. And again, you can see, first thing that catches your eye is that you can't see any clouds. The sky is not blue. It is a sandy color. That is the smoke coming in from Mexico from these agricultural fires that they're burning down there right now. So it's hazy in Galveston. It's 84 degrees. Sea breeze has come through. So 84 in Galveston, even Pearland's down to 83 after being in the low 90s earlier today. Hobby's at 85 after being in the low to mid 90s today. The sea breeze has come in, and when the sea breeze passes through, your south wind increases and the temperature drops in the afternoon. So the sea breeze is treating you right. South of Bush Intercontinental Airport, at Bush it's still 92. Conroe's 92, Huntsville 91. Tomball is at 92 right now, and we're going to stay very warm this evening. These are current feels like temperatures. So Huntsville feels like 102. Right now, Tomball feels like 97. Sugar Land feels like you're stuck at 99. Galveston, even though you're in the 80s, because the humidity is so high, it feels like 98 on the beach in Galveston right now. Columbus feels like 95. And you can see from our tower camera here in the Galleria area, we're looking to the east. There's the Williams Tower. Downtown buildings are off in the distance. It is still very hazy outside. You can barely see the puffy clouds, the cumulus clouds with all the haze out there. So that's the smoke from the agricultural fires. Our individual weather instruments. Now I've got this set to show feels like temperature. So you're getting the heat index. Woodwind Lakes, 98 is what it feels like right now here. It's 633. Willowbridge feels like 105. Gusty Trail Lane, 105, getting out toward Copperfield. Now, some of these are very high, and it's because they're close to pavement, so it's giving you an unofficial temperature, but it does feel like 105 at Gusty Trail Lane, but you're near concrete, and sometimes also sprinkler systems will increase the humidity right there near the instrument, and that increases the feels like temperature. So Tilson Lane near Fairbanks feels like 104 right now. We go to the Med Center, West U, Sunset Boulevard feels like 108 on our instrument right there. Sackett Street feels like 106. Herman Lake, 101 is what it feels like near the park. And then Southern Oaks right now feels like 105 degrees. And although those are above at the official sites, that is what it feels like at those spots right now. Okay, so every year they burn in Mexico, the agricultural fields. They burn the sugar cane. They burn the corn stalks, the stalks of the corn after harvesting are just sitting there. And they do this for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's relatively inexpensive to burn instead of use a machine to till. And then also it releases nutrients back into the soil faster when you burn the old vegetation that's there. It releases the nutrients into the soil. And then they also do this to do crop rotation with it's beans to rice to corn, I believe is what they do. Crop rotation in here, and they burn every time they change the crop rotation in and out. But this has been going on for hundreds of years, and it will continue. The problem for us in Houston is that this time of year, we start getting this prevailing south wind at low and mid levels, and that is just bringing all the smoke and haze right up out of Mexico and into the eastern half of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. They've got the smoke all the way up into Illinois from the fires in Mexico. So it's just the season for smoke and fire. If you want more in-depth analysis, we've got an article up on this right now at khou.com. So the smoke from the agricultural fires will continue. This is a smoke forecast all the way through Friday, Saturday. This is Sunday at 3 in the afternoon. Still hazy, smoky skies as we go through the weekend. Now, it's not doing a whole lot to air quality. A lot of the particulate matter is above the ground, but some of it is down at the surface. But so far, you know, our air quality today was in the moderate range. Here at 636, it's in the good to moderate range across the area. So we're not getting into air quality problems with sensitive groups or unhealthy levels for the general pop. That didn't happen today, Thursday, and we don't think it's going to happen on Friday either. We do have one helping factor with this, is that when you get a gusty south wind like we had today and we'll have tomorrow, it does tend to mix out and doesn't let it intensify in any one particular spot. So it'll be breezy, air quality moderate tomorrow, even with the smoke and haze coming in from the fires in Mexico. That's for tomorrow. And that probably will be the same as we head through the coming weekend. As we look at the radar, nothing in southeast Texas. They've had a few scattered showers along the I-35 corridor up to Dallas today. These are doing nothing but increasing the humidity and giving them the free sauna effect across north, central, and northeast Texas this evening. Had a couple of showers near Waco. That's just going to make for a very, very humid evening up there. Nothing big enough to cool the atmosphere. So that's where a little bit of rain activity has been. But that's showing you what this high pressure dome to the south is doing. It's pushing all the rain further to the north and away from the Houston area. There's the dome, and you can really just kind of see how this rain activity just kind of rings the edge of that heat dome, and the heat dome just stays parked there. So rain chances stay to the north of Houston. That's where it will still be on Sunday, May 18th, sitting to our south. Now, it's not right over us. We're on the northern fringe of this, but what this is doing is just helping to give us a southwest flow. So the breeze will be coming out of the southwest. What's happening is air is flowing off the mountains of Mexico. It drops down out of the mountains. When air goes down, it compresses. And when you compress a gas, it gets hotter. So you've got a compression heating going on. That's another factor in why it's been so suddenly hot, is that the wind flow out of the southwest undergoing a compression heating. Just one of the laws of thermodynamics. So what's going to happen? Well, this is finally going to break down a little bit. Again, this is where we'll stand on Sunday. Still very hot and humid and hazy. But as we head into Sunday, that's at the upper levels. At the surface, we're going to begin to get a surface low form near Denver, Colorado. So that happens on Sunday. So counterclockwise flow around that low will still have us with this south breeze on Sunday. You can see that little bit, some of it coming out of the southwest with the heat. So this is, the low is going to move east, and what it will do is create a surface front that will push through Tuesday night of next week. So by the time we get into Wednesday, and we think this will be by Wednesday morning, May 21st, that's when we think we're going to break this pattern. We're calling it a pattern change. It's going to break the heat wave and lower the humidity. Now, it's not going to be cold. It's late May getting into June. So it's not going to be cold, even though technically it's a cold front. But what this will do is open the door to a northerly surface breeze, which should lower the humidity and make things less hot and much more comfortable, especially in the mornings and evenings. That will be nice. And this is what I was working on when you guys caught me right when we started the broadcast. This is by Wednesday, 3 a.m. Let's go through this again. So by Wednesday, 3 a.m., the humidity levels are dropping. That will be wonderful. I'm going to just back this up, so we'll just kind of windshield this. So still very humid. This is Tuesday of next week. with the humidity just parked overhead. This is going to be a very uncomfortable day on Tuesday of next week. But by the time we roll this into Wednesday, look at that, Tuesday evening and into Wednesday. So that's a big improvement. Now we're getting into the sandy color. That's much more dry. By Wednesday morning and Wednesday, that will help with the humidity and also less hot. Now, 10-day temperature forecast. So we stay with these temperatures well above the normal of 87 through Tuesday of next week. 96 Friday, 95 Saturday, 94 Sunday, 93 Monday, 96 on Tuesday. And that 96 on Tuesday, that worries me with all that humidity that will be in place ahead of the front. We could have heat index values that are way over 100 on Tuesday. So keep using all your hot weather smarts for Houston, which is water, shade, cool your body off in the AC, take breaks in the air conditioning so your body's core temperature has a chance to cool down, especially if you're working outside in this heat for any stretch of time. And then highs in the upper 80s. You know, it's not cool, but it will be a nice relief from what we've had Wednesday, Thursday. There's some models that actually have it cooler than this. I hesitate to make it any cooler, but we're going to get a break from that heat and humidity Wednesday and Thursday, and Friday shouldn't be bad either. We start to build back going into next Saturday. So that's your long range outlook. It's next Tuesday night into Wednesday, next Wednesday, that we finally get a break in temperatures. Okay, big picture. So while we're above normal, they're below normal across the Great Lakes. They're loving it. May 21st through the 25th, below normal from Chicago to New York, above normal desert Southwest into the southern and western 2/3 of Texas. We stay above normal overall. As far as rainfall chances, in general, we stay at or below normal rainfall. I think more below than anything else, just looking at the long range. So we're going to stay dry as we head through the first, as we get into the late parts of May. What about tomorrow? This is Friday. 76 in the morning, warm, hot 92 by noon. 96 is the high temp. If we get there, we're going to break the record of 94. The extended forecast. Saturday and Sunday are hot. We'll flirt with records both days, no rain. Monday's hot. Tuesday, as I mentioned, that's real hot. 96 with the highest humidity probably of the whole week. That may be a day to really use your precautions on Tuesday. And then there's the magic, lower humidity on Wednesday. That is what we want to see get in here. We really want this forecast to verify. All the global models are bringing this in, so I'm hoping with it being only 5 or 6 days out that this is going to verify. And highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s, so it'll be much more comfortable overnight. That's an indication of lower humidity when you see lows in the 60s. All right, gang, that's where we stand on this Thursday evening. Stay cool out there and have a lovely evening, everybody.